Hey Leo, wonderful to have you join me. We're here to do your weekly dive into your collective energy just to see what's coming up on your path. Only this week we're kind of looking through the lens of the full moon in Libra that's going to be coming up on the 25th. It's a significant one. It is bringing something back around the bend from the last lunar eclipse we had back in 2023 on October 28th. So do look for something that wasn't properly closed out at that time or completed to come back around for another review or maybe an opportunity to do things right this time, okay? This is pretty significant cycle we're entering into. There's also quite a bit on deck with the nodes of destiny because on April 8th, we have a new moon solar eclipse in Aries. So both of the nodes of destiny are being affected with this eclipse energy that's kicking off eclipse season. And we know that with eclipse season, there's a lot we can't see at this time. So this coming in, whatever you're bringing to a close, it's going to bring something in for you. It could just be the close of a cycle, but it leads to a new opportunity. So we're going to see what that's all about. This is for any significant Leo placement, or if you happen to have a prominent placement in the 5th house. Also, if you are an Aquarius rising, that makes you a Leo descendant, and you could find resonance with this read. We are opening up with the Archangel Tarot, and let's just see what is coming in for you, Leo. We have the 8 of Ariel. Take great pride in your excellent work. Practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education or training. So I feel like there is something that you're preparing to study. Maybe you're leaving behind a certain level of success. You're ready to up the ante. You're ready to experience more growth in the area of your career, but you recognize maybe there's some new things you have to learn, maybe some education you need to get. You might be looking into this. You might have some interest that has really inspired you. And so you're looking at this as a potential career pathway, and you're starting to do a little bit of research around this. I do feel like you feel divinely guided in this regard. Like there's something that just feels right. It feels like it's in harmony with your new direction. I do feel like right now you're just feeling very inspired. Some of you, this could be getting into some kind of herbal studies, holistic health studies. It's something that is new to you, okay? And maybe is an adjunct to the work that you already do. It will sort of like amplify the work you already do. It adds another service to what you offer or what you will be offering. I can see that. All right, there's something here that does definitely inspire you though. Okay, let's see what this is about. So we know you're kind of outgrowing your current career. You're wanting something that stimulates your mind a little bit more, maybe also stimulates your creativity and allows you to reach a higher level of success. We have 9 of Michael. Your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. Release feelings of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels. All right. So I do feel also like you might be at a stage in your life where it feels a little stressful as well to think of reinventing yourself, reinventing your career path at this time. But I do feel like you're being guided forward during this time, and it might be challenging. There might be a reason why you are looking at things more seriously and a need to open up a career pathway that could grant you more financial stability. I think wherever you're at right now, you recognize that there's not really more growth to be had on the particular path you're on unless you somehow get some kind of further education or some kind of opportunity. For some of you, this is an opportunity to get a promotion, but in order to get the promotion in your current line of work, you do need to expand your skill set, right? You might have been really stressed out about this. You might have been worried about this. I could also see this in regard to feeling apprehension about moving on from a particular position, because even though it might not be totally fulfilling where you're at, you also sort of feel like, well, I'm in my groove here. I'm used to this. This is what I've always done. And so maybe at this stage of the game, it feels a little bit, I don't know, you might feel a little bit of apprehension about putting on a new hat, so to speak, trying something new. But I do feel like you're being guided in regard to this. And it looks like your worry is unfounded. You know, maybe you think that going in a particular direction you feel inspired to head in is very competitive. And you wonder, will I be able to hold my own within that ring? I think you can. You know, it's about you having enough belief and faith in yourself to give it a shot. All right. You might have had some financial concerns recently too, and so this is also stressing you out. There could be somebody, maybe somebody that you're in relationship with, or this could even be a parental figure, somebody whose opinion you really value that is kind of maybe guilt tripping you a little bit too about wanting to free up some time to study something new. Maybe they'd rather you just stick to the tried and true path instead of really expanding and opening yourself up to a new opportunity. Maybe they don't want you to have that kind of, you know, level up in terms of your self-esteem, because when you head in a direction that really speaks to you and you start applying yourself in such a way, it really does do something for you. You know what? It like gives you that feeling like, hey, you know, I have more possibilities. And maybe somebody wants you to stay in the current role you're in. They're almost afraid that, you know, you might really enjoy this newfound sense of independence. Okay. It could be that they are worried that you might find the desire to head off in your own direction, go your own way. Maybe they see your growth as a threat, like they feel like they'll be left behind in some way. So if you do have somebody that's kind of pressuring you or telling you that it's selfish of you to invest in a new direction or to want to invest your time and energy in a direction that really inspires you personally, because they are trying to kind of like put this idea in your head that it's going to be a burden. It's going to be a burden for the household if you do this, or you're not really valuing, you know, the relationship, their input. Maybe this person has too much control over your choices. Okay. But I feel like this is unnecessary worry. And I feel like if you just go ahead and let yourself do what you're really called to do, it'll pay off. And then the results will be evident. Let's just get some more details about this, because it does seem like you're stressed. Some of you are stressed because you're hoping to get some kind of funding so you can actually go back to school. You're wondering if it's going to go through. I think you're going to be successful with that. Okay. This is obviously something that's really inspiring you, and you're meant to head in this direction. There is some kind of piece here, though, about just wondering if you can hold your own in a certain arena. Will you be successful if you head in this direction? I mean, you won't know until you take the risk, right? So there's something here about putting your fears aside and just following your heart and going in the direction that inspires you, okay? I think it'll really pay off for you. I think it'll be a good thing. That's what you can't see right now. It's sort of like with that eclipse energy, it's keeping you in the place where you're more worried about like the potential of how it could go wrong rather than considering how could it go right. And we see that here with 10 of Ariel. Okay, that's 10 of Pentacles energy. So we see that where you might be dealing with a family member, where you might be dealing with a lover or somebody that you share resources with, who's kind of guilt tripping you about this, is like what they don't understand is it will actually allow you to really contribute more to the household. It's only going to strengthen things, you know, it's only going to put you in a better financial position. And this is also something you're meant to step into. It's like really stepping into the 10th house energy, where you have something that you can really feel proud of. Like you're meant to step into this new career pathway. You're meant to study this. You're meant to elevate. It's time. Okay. There's something that you are supposed to share. You're supposed to share, and you'll become known for this thing. It's a solid platform for you to launch your future vision upon. 10 on the clock, confirmation there, all right? And it says here, there is so very much to be grateful for. Financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life, all right? it's only going to allow you to pour into the household. It's only going to allow you to have more stability in your own life and also more financial independence. Now, could it be that you have somebody around you who's a little bit intimidated by that, about you having that financial independence? I am picking up this message a little bit, like almost like, sometimes there can be this weird thing where even though it's somebody who's a loved one and they genuinely care about you, they can feel a little sort of like competitive spirit between the two of you if they're afraid that you might advance further beyond them, okay? And this can especially happen in a dynamic where one of the partners in a relationship has always been like the main breadwinner or has sort of been the provider in the household. So I feel like whatever this is that you're stepping into, it gives you a real opportunity to advance and perhaps advance beyond another. And they have a little bit of insecurity around that, which might be why they're trying to dissuade you from heading in this direction. But really, this is the best for both of you, okay? Maybe you need to sit and like go out for coffee together, have a talk, drop in, and really share with them why you're so inspired to head in this direction. Some of you are wanting to do something that's going to allow you more freedom to travel. You really have a strong desire to get out there into the world, experience things. But where you're at currently financially, it doesn't allow you to fulfill this opportunity. And so you're really recognizing like, well, I have to do something if I'm going to be able to really live the kind of lifestyle I want to live. I'm picking up this piece, like you're really wanting to travel, you're wanting to go out and about. There could be a Paris connection, maybe you're wanting to go to France. It could also be that you do something in fashion design and you're wanting to go to France and experience the fashion industry there. Okay, this coming through for somebody. There might be a specific opportunity you have that's connected to France, right? Maybe some kind of mentorship opportunity where you can shadow somebody and really learn the inside of a particular industry. You might also want to get into some kind of travel industry. Okay. I just got flight attendant, all right? You might be looking at ways that you can head down a new career path that affords you the opportunity to travel and see more of the world. And there's something about that freedom. I mean, that makes sense, that message, getting your wings, okay? So yeah, maybe some of you want to become a pilot. I mean, why limit yourself, right? Okay, so there's something here where you're wanting to level up in your career. This is something that inspires you. There may be some kind of opportunity and it's overseas, okay? So there could be, somebody in your family, a lover, somebody who is kind of guilt tripping you about this or placing unnecessary anxiety, in your consciousness around this. But I feel it's more because they're afraid of how they could lose you or how you may advance beyond them and they don't want to be left behind. But the reality is it only strengthens things. It only gives more stability, and not just stability, but fulfillment. It lets you, it lets you live the kind of life that you want to live. You are going to need education. You are going to need specialized training. For some of you, this is a mentorship, somebody who is already very established in a particular industry. You got an opportunity to shadow them, to learn from them. For some of you, it may even be working on a film production crew, I heard, and you're coming in as like a personal assistant, but it's also giving you opportunity to really understand how the industry works and giving you an in. It's like a foot in the door kind of opportunity. You might be really nervous about this, all right? But I think you should go for it, whatever this is. And if you're needing some kind of funding so you can continue your education and you've applied for that, it will come through in the affirmative. We have 7 of Raphael. Time to make a decision. Be clear on what you want and take action. A need for detoxification. And I feel what you need to detox yourself from is other people's opinions about what's right for you. And in fact, this may be what's sort of like pulling you in all directions, even though you already clearly have the compass of your heart set on your due north, your North Star. Like, you know what you want to do. You just have to follow through with it, okay? And you might be asking too many people for their advice or what they would do in your situation. Well, they're not you. It's like, what do you want to do? That's what you should listen to and follow through with, because this is what's really going to give you the most success, okay? So yes, maybe just go and spend some time outdoors, spend some time in nature, ground out your energy, take it for a hike. I think that's a great way to sort of get your sights centered when you feel like you're pulled in a lot of different directions because everybody's talking at you and they all have an idea about what's right for you and what you should do. Right? Just go and take what you're grappling with on a hike. And just set the intention that by the time you get to that top of the mountain, you're going to have a clear understanding, a new perspective of the right choice for you and the best way to move forward. And, allow yourself to work it out, just work it out through taking it on a hike. It's amazing what it does, the way that it can clear the consciousness and constructively like move that energy physically so it's not rattling around in your brain. In fact, you might have been so stressed out about what everybody else thinks you should do that it's kind of put you in this position where you could have been losing some sleep at night. Okay, you're not getting enough rest. That's not going to be ideal. Okay, and at the main frame of this could be a potential lover. Okay, somebody that you're very connected to on a heart level. We do have King of Ariel. This is like King of Cups kind of energy. Successful, stable, accomplished, powerful. Your plans are working out very well. Professional and financial success, using resources wisely. So I think for a lot of you, this is coming through a lover or a love interest, or perhaps somebody that you are in relationship with and you actually share a household, share resources. And they're used to being the one that's kind of like on top. They're used to providing. They may even be trying to convince you to sort of like just stay small. It's okay. I got you. But it's not about that. It's like beyond that. It's about you really expressing your own creative energy and you feeling like you got something of your own. That it's very empowering. So I do feel like this could be a character coming into play. I also feel like there could be somebody coming in that is a very creative type. They know how to think outside the box. And they might actually be coming in as an ally too, just encouraging you and just saying, you know what, you can do this. And it's good to have somebody who's in your corner. I do feel like you do need to like balance out, the budget a little bit. You do need to be wise about how you make your moves. And maybe in that regard, yes, if you are in a relationship, you have a household together, you share resources, you share finances, then talk it out, figure out a game plan. I think that you'll be able to get to a point where you iron this out in that case, and it'll move forward without, any issues. And once they see how fulfilled you are, I mean, if you're fulfilled, it's only going to better the relationship as well, right? Others of you, it's a father. Your father really kind of like dotes on you and he worries about you and he just wants the best for you. And I think it's more like they feel like you're leaving the nest, even though you're like, it's kind of funny because I feel like you've already left the nest. Like you're not with, you're not with your father anymore in terms of like living under their roof. But at the same time, you're like daddy's little girl. I got this vibe, okay? Somebody is like daddy's little girl and they've always doted on you and they just want to protect you and they don't want anything bad to happen to you. And maybe it's kind of makes them nervous, especially if you have some kind of opportunity where you have to go great distance, all right? They don't want anything to happen to you. So they might be a little overprotective, but I think if you just kind of like calm them down and explain to them why this is so important to you, they might actually find, a way to see it more from your side of the perspective, okay? Let's go ahead and pull out the Paulina Tarot for clarification. Yes, okay? So I do think that you need to create a little space, you know, with the Four of Swords, just to kind of like sink into your own feelings around this. Send up some prayers for guidance, you know, and take a little space, take a little rest, get a good night's rest. Okay, I feel like maybe you haven't been getting the best sleep, so this is really important too. And if you're already feeling nervous or anxious about making these big changes, you know, get yourself some rest and take a little time out. Give it a rest from asking other people for their advice on this, and I think you'll be led in the right direction, Leo, okay? So what you can't see right now with the eclipse energy is how the gamble will pay off. It will really lead you in a positive direction, okay? So let yourself go for it. Don't hold yourself back, all right? So any further details you want to give Leo about heading in this new direction and opening up to a new pathway of study? It sounds like it's a great opportunity, and it's definitely something you're meant to step into. It is a seed to plant for your future, but it can only grow abundantly if you actually, you know, take the risk to invest in it. All right. We can't have an abundant harvest if we're not willing to plant the seed. And Ace of Pentacles is just that. It's just the potential. It requires you to actually do the work, though, and invest in it with follow through if you want to see something grow. Okay. So don't sit on the fence. Oh my gosh, with the Two of Pentacles, should I not? And again, I feel like for you, it's like financial concerns are really weighing heavily on you. And with this piece of somebody like kind of trying to like tamp down your fire and discourage you from heading in a certain direction, they might have put unnecessary fear in your consciousness about, well, you know, if you go in this direction, you're not going to be able to make ends meet. You know, they might be telling you why it's not the right time to be taking this kind of risk. Pish tosh, okay? Some of you might be going to Europe, okay? Or you've always had this dream. You've wanted to go and, you know, live overseas for a bit, you know? You're here in the States. You've wanted to go overseas and you've wanted to, you know, be able to travel, but also, you know, earn a living, maybe do some work overseas, all right? I could see this also as like wanting to do some work on a cruise ship. Maybe you're a massage therapist and you want to go and, you know, spend some time on a cruise ship doing some work. If you're interested in doing that, it's really, really hard work. They work you to the bone, but I mean, you can walk away, you know, within a few months with a nice chunk of change. And if you wanted to do that to afford yourself the opportunity to just travel throughout Europe and just wander around for a while, I mean, you can make it happen. There's people who do it, but it's not glamorous. They really work you to the bone, man. What do we got here? I mean, the Chariot. I see you're going to move forward with it. I really do. And again, there could be like, it could be a mother figure that's sort of like cautioning you about this, but whatever this is, you know, you can't let somebody else hold the reins in your life. You could be dealing with a Cancer, okay? And this is just somebody who's just really concerned, like, honey, are you sure? Are you sure this is the right direction for you? You could be on the Cancer Leo cusp also, all right? But somebody here is trying to control things too much, and it's making something feel more chaotic than it will actually be if you just take the leap and trust where you're being led. I feel like right now, the problem is your passion and your desire and what like feels right for you, what lights you up is pulling you in one direction, and everybody else's input is putting too much confusion in your head, and that's like making you feel pulled in another direction, and it's dividing you. So you need to get centered here so you can have a clear way forward. But I do feel like you're going to move forward. It might feel a little, you know, a little bit of a wild ride at first, because I do feel like this is a big change for you, but it's going to pay off. And with that, the Star comes up. Okay, this could be coming in very strongly for you if you're an Aquarius rising. Okay, look at this energy. It's like you need to go for it. All right. I mean, I think you've been spending a lot of time nurturing where you're at right now. You know, you've been doing your best to maintain the balance, but it's become a bit boring and you need a little bit more. And you're going to get some message that's going to come in that's going to fill your heart with a lot of excitement and that potential for that sun, the happiness. And I think you're going to hear that it's a go. Okay. And once you hear that, I think you're going to be on your way. I don't think you're going to hold yourself back, Leo. Nope, you're not. You're on the road, man. Look at this wheel of fortune. You're going to get things moving. You're not in a fixed position anymore. It could be that you've been dealing with a Taurus, an Aquarius. I went to say Sagittarius. Well, it is a Sagittarius card. That's possible too. Okay, a Leo. That's your energy. I mean, I think it's really affecting you personally. Let's see. Also, let's say we said Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, right? So any of these characters could be factoring into your situation. Obviously, you are really being impacted by this situation, but we see with the Wheel of Fortune upright, you are moving forward. You're not going to stay stuck, right? I recognize that you have been in this position of being really fixed in your current position for a long time, but I see change happening in your career. And wherever you're at currently, whatever you're doing currently, be prepared. You're going to be on the move and you're about to move into expansion and do something new. Congratulations. It's going to pay off. Believe in yourself.